go again, folks. The mainstream, where I talk with respect. So tonight, let's get into it. I have a few things I want to get off my mind. I was thinking about today, and I see a lot of back and forth in media. I see a lot of back and forth in social media, television, movies, however they need to get to you. And I saw this show called The Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix. An amazing piece of information that I think we all need to take a look at. We think we know what we're talking about all the time. Coming from someone that thinks they know all the time what they're talking about, this is something that I definitely think you need to put into your repertoire and utilize because it's important. And why do I say that? Well, think about it. You train, if you will, to think a certain amount of things in a certain way all your life. And then if it's someone that says it's different or it's not true, then how do you truly react to that? Do you accept it? Do you challenge it? Do you find out any other resources that tell you, hey, this is real or this is not real? Most of the time we say, you're full of shit and you don't know what you're talking about. And I know what I'm talking about. So there's no way I need to even look at what you're talking about because it doesn't matter. But what if you're wrong? So tonight, what I want to talk about is what is your truth? What's true to you? Are you able to hear outside of what you truly believe to be true? Think about that for a second. Someone tells you factual data, at least what they believe in, or at least something for you to look to. Do you discount it immediately because you believe a certain way, or do you really take the time to find out what they're talking about and if there's any validity to it? Human nature says you don't. So what do we do to get to that point where we really do and we really want to find out what we're talking about or someone else is talking about, even if it differs from our viewpoint? I think that's a growth thing, to be quite honest with you. I think it's more than anything. The root matter is doesn't matter if it's true to you or not, or are you just set in your mind that your truth is the only way it can be, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be political, whether it be Christianity, things that are taboo to discuss. But when you do, people are very vehement about how they believe and how they don't believe. So, what will it take for you to consider something outside of what you normally would believe to be true? That you've learned, known, actually made your life applicable to it, and to find out that maybe it wasn't like you thought it was? Would you really be able to accept that? You say that, kind of like buildings burning, would I run in? I hope that I would. I really do. Truth is, I'm really looking at that like if I go in, is it going to burn down and blow me up too? And what would that, what's the purpose? So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but truly, do you really, when nobody else is looking, when nobody else hears you, no one else is really peeking into what your insight may be, are you able to kind of break that down and say, what about what they're thinking? Is it real or not? So, to be political, because I know that's taboo, I heard some things on TV, and I, it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden or anyone, that's just a name. For instance, what if it was your friend Joe, and Joe told you what's going on right now, and you heard that Joe said something totally different than someone else, which you do all the time in your relationships? What do you believe? Do you believe what people say when no one's watching? Or do you believe what people say when everyone's watching and you're accountable for it? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that, to be quite honest with you. And I ask a few people to join me tonight, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. Differing views and opinions. The truth is, I welcome all that because I'm just going to keep my mind open. I know based on the data that I've saw and what I've read and what insight and experience has taught me to believe. I'm not just I'm not a follower. I believe and I see what's going on with me. If you go outside and tell me that it's raining, it's raining. If you're getting wet under the rain, it's raining. You can't tell me, hey, it really looks like it's raining, but it's not raining and it might rain later. No, it's raining right now. So it's raining information right now to people, and it's telling you how intelligent people are. Or worse, it's telling you their true core mentality, ethics, morality. You can't tell me that someone goes against your ethics, morality, conveniently, aggressively in your face, and you make a reason why not, why it's okay. Anybody, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what color, doesn't matter what creed, doesn't matter what black, Hispanic, doesn't matter woman or man. You immediately have a problem with that. The deeper issue is why don't we have a problem with what's going on now? I gotta know why we don't have a problem with that. Why can't we understand what's going on behind the scenes? Or we do and we just say, hey, we don't care. It doesn't really matter. So it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to bleed my way because it suits my needs. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's something that's okay? Do you think that's something that's allowable? And the truth is, if you really believe that, no, I don't believe. I don't even believe you believe that. I'm not even gonna go there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put my headphones on. No way do I believe you're rational and you believe that. Just no way. Because if you're sane, most people are. If you're living, whether it be by yourself, whether it be with your family members, and you have a job, but you're struggling, but you're making it happen because you've lived long enough to do that and you know how to do it, even though it's sometimes hard and aggressive on your mind, you know what's right. You know what's going on around you. You're not a fool. It's just like a relationship where you know something's wrong, you know something's bad, but you still continuously say, it's going to be okay. But everything tells you it's not. So either things have to change or you're asking for the same thing to happen that's been happening. And somehow nothing's going to change in your behavior or your communication. Maybe you'll find a gigantic briefcase on the side of the road that has $50,000 in it. Let me know if you do. You know you won't. The truth is, we don't want to face those things. We don't want to have to face the tough questions that say, hey, this is what's going on. We don't want to face the tough questions that say, you know, I don't want to believe what I see in my face. I don't want to believe what's continuously reported. I don't want to believe what someone puts on a book. I don't want to believe all these things. If all of those things were wrong, consider this. Think about it for a second. If all those things were wrong that are being said against anyone, no name intended, just anyone, and someone wrote a book and said, this is fact, couldn't you sue that person? Couldn't you sue the shit out that person for your namesake, for false, for lying? There's so many things and avenues that you can do. Why isn't that happening? So we can either say, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to. Come on. Stop. Would you have to? Yeah. Would you have to? Yeah, you probably would. What if your girl, wife, husband, wife, friend came into you and said those same things? Hey, I got an audio recording of you saying something to me or to someone else. And that person said, no, that's not me. I don't care what it was saying. This is what I really meant by it. Why is it any different for someone you've never met in your life that you only see on TV, never met in your life, and probably will never meet in your life? You'll never meet this person. But you have people right now in your life that you see on an everyday basis, and they go through a way worse triage to prove to you who they are and what's going on. Why is that? Come on. The truth is, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't make sense to me. So it goes back to my question to you at the very beginning. What is truth? Is truth just at this point in time in the game of what we listen to on the internet? Whatever. Whatever I believe in is my truth, and that's what I'm going to stand by, regardless if it's really true or not. Doesn't matter. I'm going to stand by it. Or are you a critical thinker that says, no, if it's not real, it's not true, I'm not just going to agree with it because that's not fair. I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to say that's something that is real or not. You can't do that. And if you do choose to do that, I think that's being very irresponsible, to be quite honest with you. So, what I would suggest to anybody out there, do your research. If you're working at a job, and whether you're a manager or you're learning this job or you want to get to a different part of the job where you're making more money, I guarantee you, you're going to try to learn every aspect of that job. You're going to be the best at it, or you're not going to get a promotion. Why don't you do the same thing in life? Things that really matter to you and your family, your kids, your babies, what you leave for them. Why is it not any different for them than it is for anybody else? That bothers me sometimes. I don't understand why people have such an issue with they can't just tell you what's going on and be honest with you unless you force them to. If you force people to do that, then it's very, very different. If you don't, it's what it is. I just know that the truth is when people force you to really think about what's outside that box, yeah, you're really paying attention to what's going on. Why does it take someone to prove to you that that's what's going on when you see it every day yourself? Does that say more about you or the person you're trying to believe in? Because the person you're believing in, if it's not really, it doesn't correlate to your everyday life or what you're really trying to do, and you know it's wrong. What makes you hold on to that? Truly, what makes you hold on to that? As a man, we don't ever want to be wrong. But when you just like, I remember that song, It Wasn't Me. I mean, you're caught and it's just what it is, it's what it is. Why do you still act like it's not true? Why do you make reasons and reasons after reasons to say things that you see, things that you've heard, things that have been recorded, still aren't real? That's a deeper thought process. Rodney King wasn't caught on camera. Somebody told you about him. Would you believe it? Caught on camera, still nothing happened. Would you believe it? These are the thoughts that other people that will not say anything to you do truly have. And a lot of times people say, well, that was then, this is now, we progress. We is a mouse in your pocket. We means you. It doesn't mean everyone else. And as soon as you learn that, America, that we does not include everyone that looks like you, but everyone that doesn't look like you. And if you can make them feel like you do, then you'll understand that. Our truth is so distorted, it's amazing. We will watch things on TV, whatever news channel we decide to watch. We'll watch YouTube. We'll do Twitter, Facebook, respond, question, anything. Nothing gets solved. And if you've ever looked at what I'm telling you to about social dilemma, it is absolutely made for you to be a worker bee. You are just doing whatever people tell you to do, and you don't even know. From your Facebook to your Twitter to this YouTube right here to this live stream, they are absolutely seeing everything you do, what your propensity is to do, how you do it, why you do it, And that's why you get all those reminders all the time on your phone, on your TV, all the time. And you don't know why. That's why. Information is shared everywhere. And so they are in your mind unless you are a critical thinker. And most people just follow. The masses follow. You're an anomaly if you think you're a critical thinker. But other than that, you're not the masses. You're not the most. You're not the democracy unless you can educate them with something that is real is what they see on an everyday basis because we're lazy and we don't want to see. We don't want to learn. We want to take what we have, and if it's what we think it should be, we are cool with that. How did we get to that point? I think a lot of ways is because how we're raised and what we're taught. Um, I have some people that I know very close to me, and their son is taking a class called African American Studies. I never heard of this until now. I can wonder why they have it now. Couple of things. One is the white guy is a teacher, which I think is some ways amazing because he is going to go above and beyond to show that he knows what he knows. He's not going to take anything for granted. That's the positive I take from that. And that's the only thing I'm going to take from that, nothing negative. So this kid was telling me about some things about history. And I said, well, what do you think history is? He says, well, what they're teaching me, what's going on in school and what's going on since, 100 years from now. And I said to him, I want you to write down the word history. And I want you to space out the words. And they did that. And I said, read it really slowly. And they said, his story. And I said, did you see those two syllables? And they said, his story. It is way deeper, people, than what we think it is. And no conspiracy theory. The truth is in the data, the factual, what you've been taught all your life. And what you've been taught all your life is not always the 100% truth. It's what someone else wanted you to learn. And until you have the autonomy to look for yourself, to find out what's real and what's not real, then you're just a worker bee. Don't be a worker bee. Don't be a follower. If you're upset in life, whether it be a relationship, whether it be professional, it's because you're following along what people say you should do. And you think that if they say it's okay, you're going to do it. If they don't, you have no choice, but you do. You just don't know how. Ask the people that you really hold to high regard how they do and why they think the way they think. And that's people like usually in the manager or managerial positions, business owners, CEOs, people that make decisions in life, not just family decisions, but decisions that matter to people and their livelihood. And once you do that, you'll see the other side of that story. I still have a couple of people. If you want to join me, I'm going to mute your mic and let you join if you want to. But what we're talking about tonight is what is your truth? True to you is either what someone says to you to believe it to be true, or you have done your due diligence. And even if you thought it to be true, you want to make sure it is. And if it's not, you want to figure out why you felt the way you did at first, which is a little deep thinking. And at this time of day and age, I think it's very relevant. I think it's very important that you youngsters out there are voting, you're paying attention. You don't get like some damn squirrel out there in the backyard. You lose your interest real quick. Make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on around you. Don't believe everything you hear, see on the internet. Take your time to find out what people have done and make a very good decision based on what that is. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not a Democrat or Republican. Those two people are in no way, form, or fashion relative or shows what you, me, and everyone else looks like in America. They show maybe 20% of what people look like in America. So how can they really know what you're experiencing on an everyday basis? They're just giving good game, talking good game. Some of us have it, gift of gab. Some of us don't. I mean, you believe it because you want to. Truly, you know nothing's going to happen. You either believe it because it feels good to you and that's what you want to believe, or not. But the truth is, you know, you are no dummy. You did live as long as you did and get to where you're at in life, to where you just say, you know what, I'm just going to take it for what it is and roll on. No, you know better. You make a decision, a conscious one at that. That is called choice. But when you do, you're playing your cards like poker and you're showing people what you really think. And if it's okay with you, then that's a deep set it thought process that we really need to consider. I think it's important that we do that. Um, I want you all to understand that I feel my way, I think my mind, and I say what I exactly think, what's on my mind. Um, I respectfully say that to you, and I don't apologize it because it's really what I think in my mind. I want people to be able to communicate and say what they really think, regardless of what they think people are going to react to it. I think that's very important for us to do and utilize. The platform that we have in this day and age is important because when we do have that, um, it allows us to understand that things are important for us. Things are important for us to say something about. Because if we don't, then people take that as ascension that it's okay. And the most important thing that we need to understand is that it's not okay. It's uncomfortable. People don't want to talk about it. I get it. Who wants to talk about something that's abrasive, something that's been happening a long time, and people really don't want to talk about? Who really wants to talk about that? I would say to you, nobody. So the truth is, that's why you are you. That's why you stand out, people. That's why I talk to you because you're not everyone and you're not ordinary. You stand out and you want to make people hear what you have to say because you're in a part in life where you have something to say. Excuse me. Whether you think you do or not, think about it. In your life, there are people that listen to you. There are people that take your advice. There are people that call you and ask you for your advice. You discount it because you think, they just, they're in a bad place and they just want to hear what I have to say. No, they see something in you and they ask you when they can ask a lot of other people what they need to do. They trust that. They trust that you're going to give them some good insight. It might not be what they want to hear. It might not even work for them sometimes, but they trust you and they ask you. There's a reason that they do. Do not discount when people come to you and ask you those things. Be honest with them. Tell them the truth. They're not going to like everything you have to say. Shit, who does? I know I don't. I don't. It's true. And I always have something to say. And I always want you to believe what I have to say. But some things I am spot on. Some things I missed the mark a little bit. Can I say to you, I missed the mark? I can say that to you. It's like going somewhere and you don't know where you're going and you ask someone for directions. I can ask you for directions. It's okay. I lose no credibility in doing that. I don't know how to go out there and change brakes on my car. Sure, I can learn to do it, but I don't know. I don't need to do that unless I have to. If I did, fantastic. I would. But I'm telling you some good shit right now. Get off your behind. Pay attention to what's going on around you. It is that important. We talk about it all day long, and people will sit on their ass and not vote. And I'm not talking about the president voting wise. I'm talking about voting your county, voting your city, voting your state. And you don't have to vote a Democratic ticket or a Republican ticket. How about you do the damn due diligence that you tell your kids to do when they're studying for a test and find out about everybody and what they believe and if it aligns with you, Why not go for it? Why? Because you're lazy. You don't want to do that. Someone told you he's cool, let's do it. Someone told you I'm voting for him, I believe her, I believe him, I'm going to do it. And then you get mad when things don't happen your way or when they don't align with what you believe. And you didn't do the due diligence in the first place. Who are you really mad at? Can't be them. Be accountable. You always wonder why. Why am I not this? Why can't I get this done? Why is this not working for me? Well, it will if you make it work. Anything you want in life, if you want it bad enough, you will have it. And let no one tell you different. I don't care if people tell you you're not this, you're not that, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's them. They are not you. You think for your damn self. You do your things that affect you and your family, and you make that shit happen every single day. And the people that are naysayers that say you ain't this or you can't do that, okay, shake them off, move to somebody else that's going to tell you that you can. Who has time for that? Who has time for someone trying to set your house on fire? Hey, take the time for yourself and for everyone that believes in you, that thinks of you in a high regard, and you facilitate that with them. They see something. The people around you see something. The people that you lead see something. So why is it so hard for you to believe that? Because you let these knuckleheads around you filter in your thought process that you're not this or not that because they're not. Come on, man. Come on. We're smarter than this. It doesn't take a test for you to say how smart you are about this stuff that we're dealing with right now. See what you see. Don't be a knucklehead and speak your mind. Stop being scary. That's really what it comes down to. Stop being scary. If you have something to say and you can back that up with data, doesn't matter what people say about it. Doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter what they say. If you have something to say and you back that up with data, it doesn't matter what they say to you. It's real. Let them dispute it all they want to. But be careful. As I tell my friends, you believe a certain way and you ask someone what they think about it. You're allowing someone's thought process to enter into your mind. Choose for yourself based on your principles, your experience, and what you hold true to you. Sure, you can ask what they think, but don't let that lead you to your ultimate decision. If I ask someone, what do they think about, I want to have a job in a bank, and I've never worked in a bank, and neither have them. They've never worked in a bank, neither have they. They have never worked in a bank. And I say, hey, the bank wants to hire me. What do you think? And because I love and care about them, I'm going to listen to what they say. And if they say to me, hey, don't get a bank. I've had this bad experience with a friend of mine who told me about a bank. And you say, I'm not going to take that opportunity based on someone else's paradigm. Not the best analogy, but the truth is, whatever analogy you want to fill in the blank with that, do not allow someone else's thought, their process, their way of life, their beliefs transform you to being who they are instead of you being who you are. You always want to respect people that love and care about you, and they want the best for you. You gotta believe that. But that doesn't mean sometimes the best for you they can't give that insight. So you have to use your experience and how you've lived to this day and age and how you facilitated life with family and friends and people that hold you in high regard and people that are interacting with you. There's a reason that they do. They see something in you, even if you don't see it yourself. And I can tell you this, everyone out there, and hear me when I tell you this, you have something to offer. I don't give a shit who tells you different. In my mind, mentally, with all due respect, I say, you know what I said, but it's YouTube. That's what I say. Let no person in this world ever tell you what you can and you can't be. Don't let any man, any woman, any mom, dad, grandparent, grandfather ever tell you what you can and you can't do. You do what you want to do. You figure it out. And you surround yourself with people that can absolutely facilitate that because they believe in you and they believe how you're going to be able to do it. And they're going to help you. Truth is truth. False is false. Don't get it twisted. Don't act like you don't understand. And do not, in under any circumstances, not speak your mind because you feel like you're going to lose someone. Don't do that. Because if you lose someone because you speak your mind and you tell them the truth, they were never there to begin with. And that's facts. Um, I'm not going to send you an invoice for this. I would $5.99, but it's $1 million worth of game I'm giving you all. And I'm just going to give it to you for free. I tell you that all the time, but I'm giving it to you for free. And if you utilize it, it's a beast. We know that what we're saying over here, and yeah, I'm speaking in multiple people, everyone on here hears what I'm saying and it's real. You know it's real. If it's not, tell me why it's not real. You have two white men that want to be president that look nothing like you, that have probably never been in a grocery store or a storage or a Walmart or a Target or driven a car, but yet they relate to you and you believe everything they say and you're going to fight for them. Stop the madness, man. Stop the madness. Am I being wrong? Am I lying to you? I mean, tell me if I'm lying to you, because I don't think I'm lying to you. It's madness, right? It's madness. So, with that being said, um, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I just want to take the time to really ask, and I appreciate your feedback. The mainstream, YouTube. You can do anything you need to on YouTube, my Twitter accounts, or go my webpage, rawtalkwithrespect.com. I have all my links there. Like, subscribe. Give me any kind of insight you want. Let's talk about it. Um, I think for the most part, the people that we talk to, the people that are on here, the people that I get feedback from, I think you just want to know outside the box what people don't really have a chance to see and respond to. I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of text messages, I get a lot of feedback on YouTube and on my website where it says, hey, I wanted to say this. What do you think about this? And I appreciate that. And I'll never say who you were, but the truth is, the people that you really want to ask those questions to, don't be afraid. The the truth is if they're your friends, if they're your associates, they don't have to agree with you. They just don't. And they're not going to all the time. And your friends know that. They know that, but you're too afraid to address them. It's okay. It may be uncomfortable, but when things are uncomfortable, you get things done. When you close deals, people that close deals, people that are on their own business, the best part is, setting up the deal, but the hardest part for a lot of people is asking for the money, closing the deal. You do everything else, but I don't want to do that part. It all goes together. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to what's irrefutable. If people say something that's wrong about the president, he has everything at his helm to sue you. Stop it. and put you out of business. But these people are well renowned, and they're telling you over and over again, people, they're telling you over and over again what's going on around you. Stop acting like you don't see it. And you may not like the other choice. We all might not like the other choice, but there's some semblance of decency there. We can always point to something that's bad about everybody. Excuse me. We can always point to something bad about somebody. We always can. Cancel culture. My friend Cass told me that cancel culture. We all have something to say. We can say, hey, that we discount them. It's the body of work. When you pick up a book and you read the first chapter, and if it's not okay, do you always put it down or do you continuously read it? And when you do read it and you finish the book, a lot of times you're very happy about it. And for the gentleman out there, definitely this will resonate with you. You know, when you watch the ESPN 30 for 30 or ESPN 60, E60, all the fellas out there that watch that, when they first start that out, all the fellas know what I'm talking about. When they first start that out, what do you think about that player or that person and what's going on with them? And then they dig a little bit deeper and they tell you the inside story of what's going on with that player or that person. And you have a deep respect. You look at them a little bit different. DeAndre Hopkins used to be Texans receiver that they got rid of and gave to some other team. I won't even say the team's name, but he was a beast. He would kill it. You know who I'm talking about. But if you knew his story, you'd have a different respect for him. And I think that's what we need to really take the time to find out. What is your true full story? Now, what's the first 2 pages? What's your story? Let's get back to the place where we love and care about each other and we want the best, not something that we want to fight about. Again, I will tell you to watch social, what is it called? Social, I'll tell you in a minute. I can't think of it right now. Social something. It's on Netflix. It tells about the data that they receive from you on an everyday basis from your cell phone, from the grocery store, from the gas station, and how they control what you normally will choose, what you normally look at on your YouTube when you get up in the morning, what you normally look up on your Facebook, what you normally look at on anything. They have machines that are programmed to follow your what you like and what you don't like and can get you to think any way that they want you to think. Wake up. It's that important, man. Wake up. I mean, don't be a damn worker bee and then say, hey, I'm not successful. I'm not working. I can't make any money. Life is bad for me. Wake wake up. Stop allowing these people to control you. And I'm not talking about Democrats or Republicans. Screw that. Red or white, black or white. It doesn't matter. Information has no color. Find the information. And if you don't want to do that, don't argue about it because you don't know what you're talking about. And if you do, and somebody's wrong, hey, point it out to them and say, hey, you might be wrong. Take a look at this. And if they're reasonable and respectable, they'll do that. It's called social dilemma. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Carlita. It's called social dilemma. And it's important for you to listen to that. Now you can say, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm going to watch, One Life to Live. I'm going to watch Price is Right. I'm going to watch CNN. I'm going to watch Fox. Okay. Yeah, that's real factual data that you're looking at right there. Or you can look at something that's factual data that will tell you, hey, this is real. This is documented. This is exactly what's happening. But the messed up part is nobody wants to, no, I won't say nobody. Most don't want to know that. It's disturbing. You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that something that you've heard all the time is wrong. Somebody said it's wrong and it's really wrong and they can prove it. And no, it's not about Democrat or Republican. So Cross that out. Just look with an open mind. Don't go in with all that. It's going to be this way. It's going to be that way. You don't know. Just check it out. And if it's wrong and it's false, okay, discount it. But if it's backed up by data, it's backed up by data. It rained yesterday. You can say it didn't, but it rained yesterday. So it's not about words. It's not about making you feel any sort of way. It's not making you change how you feel. It's simply giving you something in your mind, in your arsenal, to be able to navigate what people tell you. You are in an information society. You are inundated every day from your cell phone to people calling you, to what's on your radio, to your interaction with humans, to you talking on your cell phone, to you on your computer, to on classes that you're inundated with information. How do you pick what's right and what's wrong? Data. Data is irrefutable. Think about it this way. Wherever you're at right now, apartment, house, bar, wherever, and you said, there's 15 people in here, or there's 3 people in here, people can argue that all day long. But would it change the fact that those people are still there? Why can't we do that with information that's irrefutable? There is no answer for that. That's the crazy part. It's not coming from you. It's not like we had a divorce and it's coming from me. You're not going to believe anything I say anyway because I divorced you. It's coming from someone that has nothing to do with it. But you still want to fight it. Now, that has more to do with you than it has to do with the information that you're receiving. And when you're talking to people like that, plant the seed and move on. Hopefully, sunshine will hit that seed in a blossom. If it doesn't, I'm not going to beat my head against a knucklehead. That serves no purpose. That's called a rabbit hole. It's not good. So, people, you are more intelligent than people give you credit for. Do your due diligence. If people hear you, they hear you. If they don't beat your head. Base what you're saying not on beliefs, on how you feel, but on factual data, as close as you can get to it. And not by one source, not by one thing. When you wrote term themes in school and you have to do a term theme or report, could you give one resource of how you got that? So all of a sudden you take it from one source? Either you're lazy or you just have a set thought process and you're not willing to change because you never did it before. You weren't taught that way. Nobody wants to talk about that, do they? Listen, a preacher gets he gets tithes for this. I don't get tithes for this. Okay, I'm just letting you know this is some good game, and it's not game because it's real. You can take it how you want to take it. It's what it is. I would hope you hear what I have to say to you because I'm gonna keep staying in your ear hole, and I don't care if you don't like what I say. I don't care if you agree with what I say. Doesn't matter. The truth is, you can't dispute what I'm saying to you. It's real. And if you can, I welcome you and I invite you to have a communication extravaganza with me and some other people that either think like or opposite of what I think. Because I don't care either way. Data is data, and I am all ears. I can't be wrong. I can accept that. Can you? That's the question. Because I'm telling you, I can. Can you? So don't want to change how you feel about people that you hold in high regard, your beliefs. All I want to do is give you something to consider. And if I've done that, I've done my job. And I'm hype about this because this is a time and place where people, you got to pay attention. It's real. And most of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, you're not that old. You're not grandpa age. You know what's going on. You either choose to believe or you don't. And you're going to act like it's not really affecting you. But you got friends that are like that. Come on. Don't sit still. Don't act like it's not a big deal. Don't take, oh, they're doing this. So the extreme of it is that's why I'm not going to. Don't do that. That doesn't make sense. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Either aspect of the spectrum. You don't settle for it in any other aspect of your life. You wouldn't settle for it with your kids. Why would you settle for it for an adult? That makes decisions about your life. Food for thought. You should be real fat right now because I've gave you a lot of food to chew on tonight. But I'm gonna keep doing this for you because I love you and I care about you. And I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, I want you to join the conversation. We got to talk about this, people. And I know sometimes I even have friends that tell me, hey, man, I just see it all the time. I hear it all the time. I just don't want to really talk about it. I know, but you gotta. It's that important because if one of your friends really needed you to do something, you do it. If one of your friends says, hey, man, I need you to get involved, I need you to do these things, you would because you love and care about them. Well, to mine that are my friends, whether you understand or not, I need you to get involved. Even if you don't agree with me, let's have a conversation and talk about it because it's necessary. I promise you this this truth to you, I'll give to you. I know a lot of your hearts and how you feel. I know it's very difficult for you to say different things and certain things depending on the crowd that you're in because you got to live there. It's like going out with your wife and there's some things you can and can't say because you got to go home. I get it. But you got to find some kind of way to say what's right because you know what's right. Doesn't mean you agree with things that are being done that it's wrong and the behavior that exemplifies that, but you know when something's wrong. You can't be afraid to say something about it. So that reminds me of that What Would You Do show that comes on. What would you do, man? What would you do, young lady? What would you do, mom? What would you do, grandmother? If you saw something like that, it's wrong. Whatever it is, what would you do? When nobody's watching, what will you do? I hope that you do the right thing. We'll talk about it. Like, subscribe, and until the next time, we'll figure out something else to say and talk about. But it'll always be some good nuggets in your brain, and I always give it to you free with a smile on my face. Tomorrow's Friday. We're going to have a great day. You're going to have a great day, and someone's going to be amazed by how amazing you are. I truly believe that. Until the next time, everyone out there, I love you. My friends to be, all that encompasses Raw Talk with Respect, the mainstream. Again, go to the website rawtalkwithrespect.com. There's all the links to everything. Like, subscribe. The more I get, the more it's going to happen. As you can see behind me, I got that beautiful board that says Raw Talk with Respect. We're going to make it better and better, baby. I am here for you. And from the very beginning, the inaugural till now, we're going to make this bad boy amazing with more dialogue, with more things to talk about, because I got a lot to say. And I know you have a lot to say as well. And I want this to be the platform that you expose and say what's going on with your mind. And just so you know, you never have to put your name. You could just put your pseudo name like you're writing a book. No one has to know. I just want to hear what you're thinking. Always, always respectful, always respectful. Your thoughts are appreciated and welcome. Till next time, everyone, Raw Talk with Respect, the mainstream.